The ship is on its way back to the biggest port in the Crown's Islands. Its voyage has been a success. The substantial treasure on deck was, let's say, acquired by 4 scoundrels who hired the ship for their venture. Who are they, you ask? Pick them up and see for yourself. Captain Frost, commander of this ship. Not exactly one of the scoundrels, though. Thomas Turlinger, the apothecary. A genius of experimental potions with a rather questionable clientele. If you want to know more about a scoundrel, place them on one of the plinths on the table edge near you. This one calls herself Nuna. Don't ask where she got her heretical, and very illegal, powers of dark sorcery. Introducing Horatio Ninelives the Thrice Blessed. The swindler came up with that name himself. A violent thug who's really good at solving problems with her ironclad fists. As the storm swells, Captain Frost abandons the wheel. As her there at the rails shouting nonsense into the wind. The crew aren't happy. "They've bewitched the captain!" yells First Mate Barnabas. "And brought this storm upon us! We must take the ship for ourselves!" This is mutiny. A band of heroes would try and talk the crew around, but these are scoundrels. The best way they know to end a mutiny is to put it down. Hard. Time to fight. Each turn, you must spend all your yellow power pips to move, attack, or rest in order to defeat your foes. These mutineers were supposed to help your scoundrels return to civilization with their ill-gotten gains. Now it seems they're attempting a little skullduggery of their own. The remaining crew comes up from below to join the fight. Move your scoundrel next to a foe. If you move too far, you'll begin to expend their power pips. Play this card on a foe within range to expend power pips and attack. Play this card on an ally within range to expend power pips and give them a boost. To expend the rest of your power pips and fortify your scoundrel. comes on deck. Looks like the whole crew is in on the mutiny. The scoundrels will have to defeat them all. Cleaver in hand. That's all the sailors accounted for. The fight is nearly done. Hang in there. mutineers. But you still need to regain control of this ship. There's a lot going wrong, and all your scoundrels will need to pitch in if they want any hope of surviving this storm. Try to choose the best scoundrel for each task. The more stars they contribute, the better. Place them on the skill checks and see for yourself. The rope is about to snap. Better get someone smart to tie a better knot. The mast is creaking ominously. Someone fast needs to climb the rigging and trim those sails. Play this card on the skill check to attempt it. Take and roll the die to find out if you succeed. Oh, success! They nimbly climbed up and trimmed the sails, slowing the ship and saving the mast. Well done! And then the rabbit goes back into his hole. Yes, they did it! The cannon's not going anywhere. The captain has abandoned the wheel. Someone strong needs to steer the ship. They strain against the wheel and manage to hold on, steering clear of the worst of the storm. Captain Frost is waving that pistol around with a mad gleam in her eye. Someone needs to talk sense to her. She lowers her gun. The storm. I heard it, calling out to me. My ship. Save my ship. Or at least die trying. Something was influencing her. Something in the storm. But there's no time to worry about that. You've done all you can for now. The ship's as safe as it can be. And just as well as a giant wave is about to roll over the deck. Brace for impact! I've always wanted to say that. Unfortunately for these scoundrels, there are only enough safe handholds left for 3 people. One of them is going to be washed overboard. The question is, which one? It's up to you who fails to hang on. Once you've made your decision, pick them up and throw them overboard. Gone. Deep beneath the waves. Only 3 scoundrels left. Knowing them, their first thought is that this means a larger share of the treasure. There's no time to mourn or celebrate. You've survived, but your ship's badly damaged, and you're... That's the Sunfish, the personal vessel of Solomon Sanko, governor of the Crown Islands. Ooh, he's taken a battering from the storm. Though, it's still in better condition than your poor ship. Wait, those aren't sailors. They're orcs, the most feared pirates in these seas. The governor and his captain are tied up on the deck. The orcs clearly don't want you interfering with their plans. Prepare to be boarded. Thing you secured the cannon. Now you can use it on the orcs. That must have hurt. The cannon's blasted away one of the orcs. Governor Sanko, who is very grateful, and Captain Starlin, who is embarrassed he wasn't able to escape his bonds in time to help.
Your ship's in no shape to sail. You should come with us to the capital,
offers the governor. The governor's right. Your storm-battered vessel is headed to the bottom of the ocean. It seems the scoundrels have no choice but to bring their precious treasure aboard the Sunfish.
Excellent,
says the governor.
Take the cabin next to mine. When we get to Half Arch, you shall be properly rewarded for your bravery.
Arch, capital and largest city of the Crown Islands. Home to fishers, traders, smugglers, artisans, privateers, and scoundrels.
Come with me,
insists Solomon Sanko. The governor is determined to make good on his promise. Later that day, after a feast in his estate, the governor surprises the scoundrels with something they never thought they'd experience: fame and glory.
All hail the heroes of Half Arch! Thomas Terlinger, brilliant apothecary dedicated to helping others. This is Hammer, warrior of true conviction and strength. Nuna the Wise, who protects us with mysterious powers. Unfortunately, our heroes can't stay for long, so let's drink in their honor. Without further ado, let us begin the Heroes' Celebration!
The heroes, leaving already. As a shame. May we meet again in equally joyful circumstances, Captain Starlin says before excusing himself.
I hope you had a pleasant evening. The heroes of Half Arch are always welcome in this city,
says the governor before he's called back into the hall. After a round of farewells, the scoundrels slip away, though they've lost one of their number. They've gained a second chance. They agree to split the treasure equally and go their separate ways. Time for your award. Choose a new ability and it's yours. Choosing a deceptively humble pouch of precious gems, Nuna slips the treasure inside her sleeve before leaving, hopefully to a remote, peaceful island. Thomas appraises the treasure with a keen eye, weighing his options before scooping several stacks of coins into pouches and leaving Half Arch. The hammer shoves a few bars of solid gold into her rucksack before leaving Half Arch. She doesn't know what her future holds, but she's never been one for making plans. And with that, the treasure chest is empty, and our scoundrels, heroes, go their separate ways, vowing to put their scoundrel days behind them. And they did. Well, at least for some time. Years is a long time. Long enough to build a whole new, quieter life. Tonight the scoundrels return to Half Arch for the first time since that day.
Over here.
It's Governor Sanko.
Quickly, we may be watched.
A figure darts from the shadows and stabs the governor. This is very bad. You must find out why the governor summoned you. The governor is barely conscious and gravely wounded. Your scoundrel tends to him as best they can. A city watch patrol. This is not good timing. More city watch. They must have heard something while on guard duty on the West Dock. That's not good either. And then there's the governor's mysterious assailant. They're getting away. 3 problems. And only 2 of you left. The gates can be barred, keeping the city watch out, but it's usually a 2-person job. In an impressive feat of strength, your scoundrel drops the bar into place. The city watch won't be getting in that way. Perhaps your scoundrel can talk the officers into heading back to their post before they spot the governor's body. Your scoundrel acts drunk and begins a long, boring story about tripping over crates. The guards make excuses and leave quickly. Your scoundrel watches them go, noticing they are guarding a ship on the West Docks. The governor's eyes open, then widen as he recognizes Nuna.
You! Stay away from me. I know how you got your power and what it cost. I know about all your pasts, and soon everyone else will too.
Crawling away took the last of his strength. He's dead. A quick search of the governor turns up a map of the island with several locations marked, each one horribly familiar to one of the scoundrels. What did he mean? Soon everyone else will know. And what's this map? But with the city watch banging on the gates, this is not the time to ponder. You need to get out of Half Arch, and that means you need a ship. At the East Docks is the governor's ship, the Sunfish. He doesn't need it anymore. But there are plenty across the Crown who'll recognise it, for good or ill. And it's where that assassin went. The scoundrels don't recognise the ship at the West Docks. The guard probably means captured pirate or smuggler. Maybe good for laying low, but who knows who owns it. Whichever one you're going to take, now's the time to choose. The Sunfish has been restored to its former glory since the storm 7 years ago. Captain Starling is still in command, or should be. Instead, he's slumped against those crates, unconscious. The assassin is here, and has friends. No time for niceties. These assassins mean business. Maybe Starling can help you, if you can bring him round. Starling stirs. He's waking up, but needs some more help to get back on his feet. Keep trying. Captain Starling stands groggily. You. Thanks for your help, again. Let's deal with these gallows monkeys. Then we'll talk. The last of the robed figures vanishes in a bolt of lightning, just like the others. The sunfish is yours for the taking, but the mystery has only deepened. Starling wants answers.
Is the governor safe? He was supposed to be meeting with you.
The scoundrels explain what happened, and that they need a ship to find the killers and clear their names.
I should have known something was wrong. That's twice I've failed to protect Governor Sanko. Come on, the watch won't be far away. We have a fair wind. Lose the topsails. I'll see this through with you. I need to bring his killers to justice, and besides, you need a sailor.
Once clear of the docks, the scoundrels examine the map they found on the governor. The marked locations are places from each scoundrel's past, a past they had hoped to leave behind. Captain Starling is surprised by something on the map.
Let me see that. These symbols, it's an old sailor's code. I can decipher this, but it'll take time.
As you sail the Crown Islands, your choices won't just affect you. The consequences of your actions will be reported in the Crown Herald. Things look bad. The scoundrels will need something more convincing than a mysterious assassin who disappeared in a bolt of lightning to avoid taking the blame for Governor Sanko's murder. Who was the masked assassin? And who knew the scoundrel's secrets? Your scoundrels will need all the help they can get. Go on, pick an upgrade. While the code is deciphered, you have another clue to investigate: the governor's map. Revisiting those places will be hard for the scoundrels, but it's your only lead. Thomas hasn't returned home in years. His manservant Wandsworth may know something. As night falls and the ship nears the Emerald, the crew fire a barrage of questions at Thomas. He holds up his hands for silence. He'll address each of them in his own time. The hammer wants to know if Thomas made any weapons here on the Emerald. He deflects by saying that there's nothing in this inventory that she would want. She gives him a cold look that says she knows how to break weapons she wouldn't use. Nuna senses something in these waters, something powerful. Thomas asks if it's magical and she's not sure, but then no one's sure if alchemy is magical either. The two briefly debate whether his concoctions are part of the natural order, but when he asks how natural her powers are, she
One of my first assignments, years before I was made captain, was investigating possible criminal activity on the Emerald. 6 of our crew were eaten by giant insects, and we were nearly sunk by pirates. Do you mean to say I was investigating you?
Thomas shakes his head and mutters something about research. As the Emerald draws near, Thomas waves aside any further questions. He has more preparations to make before revisiting his one-time home. Thomas guides the ship into a water channel he knows well, despite the years since his last visit. Even in the darkness, the scoundrels can tell he's unsettled. Emerald Post, an out-of-place grand mansion built to resemble Thomas's family home. He is concerned the torches outside are dark. Before he can explain why that's a problem, a huge, flaming insect flies into the clearing. As it flies towards the mansion, Thomas cries out. There are unstable chemicals in his lab. A normal flame won't set them off, but the fireflies burn hot. He calls out for Wandsworth, his loyal and trusted manservant, but there's no reply. Thomas explains his alchemical torches keep the insects away when they're lit. Normally, Wandsworth makes sure they're always burning. If you're going to find out what's happened, the scoundrels must light the torches and stop the flaming fireflies from entering the mansion. Firefly coming in from the west, it's transfixed by the blaze and flying towards the mansion. If it gets in there, the mansion will explode. chemical torches require a complex procedure to light. Fortunately, there are instructions on the shell, assuming your scoundrel understands it. Insects emerge from the swamp to the east. Uh-oh. Buzzing in from the east is a flaming firefly with eyes only for the mansion. If you don't stop it, the mansion will explode in a blaze. Torch's distinctive smell is already having a dramatic effect. Now to light the other three. The flaming firefly exploded safely away from the house. And yes, I realise that's an odd definition of the word safely, but the mansion is still standing. Mostly. Oh, another flaming firefly appears from the west heading for the mansion. You better stop it. Another flaming firefly appears from the west heading for the mansion. You better stop it. More insects emerge from the swamp to the northeast. Another flaming firefly appears from the east, heading for the mansion. Stop it! insects emerge from the swamp to the northeast. Firefly enters the mansion. Oh, amazingly, the mansion is still standing, but it won't withstand another blast like that. Don't let another Firefly get in there. Another flaming firefly stopped from blowing up the mansion. Good work. Oh, another flaming firefly appears from the west heading for the mansion. You better stop it. Oh, the second flaming firefly is entering the mansion. Well, so much for the Emerald Post. Well, so much for the Emerald Post. You'll have to work out what to do later. The blast attracted more insects and they're very aggressive. You have to light those torches. More insects emerge from the swamp to the west. scoundrel needs to follow the procedure to light the torch. Your scoundrel has begun the lighting procedure. Keep going to complete it. The torch is lit. These insects seem to have noticed what the scoundrels are up to, and they don't seem pleased. west, and they'll keep coming until you get all those torches lit. More of the insects angrily emerge away from the torches. Better get them lit quick. More insects emerge from the swamp to the northeast.
Son of a bitch.
More insects coming from the east, and they'll keep coming until you get all those torches lit. Your scoundrel needs to follow the procedure to light the torch. Your scoundrel has begun the lighting procedure. Keep going to complete it. Nearly there. Just one more torch left to light. scoundrel needs to follow the procedure to light the torch. The torch is lit! That's all of them! The swamp fills with the smell of Thomas's alchemical repellent. It's a bit unpleasant for the scoundrels, but clearly much worse for the insects. Time to put out the fire and search what's left of the mansion. Which isn't much. Thomas looks into his burning home, knowing that if Wandsworth was inside, there's no way he survived. Thankfully, though, there's no sign of him. He wasn't here. And by the blackened windowsill, Thomas finds something else. This charred note includes a sketch of a familiar figure. The assassins were here. But it's drawn next to a hastily written list of supplies. Wandsworth is, or was, alive and fled the island. There were a few other things in the burning house, including some bright blue powder that reminds Thomas of something, but he can't remember what. It's been 7 years since he was here. Wandsworth couldn't have gotten far. In fact, there's only one place Thomas can think of. You'll have a chance to catch him if you move quickly.